Jogo here. Today's PC news you can use has a lot of NVIDIA, Kepler stuff going on, so basically you might have overlapping news stories on top of another and all that stuff. So basically these are the new images of the new Kepler card, the GTX 680. So let me go ahead and view image so you guys can see that. It's pretty small. Wow. So let me see. I think they have it where you have to click on the picture. So there you go. So now you can actually see it. Here's the dual 6-pin right there. Alright, and then here's the back. And of course the source where they got it from was chiphell.com because it's everywhere in these images. Again, it's 28 nanometer architecture, 1536 CUDA cores, a 256-bit memory interface, and 2 gigs of GDDR5 RAM. Of course, they're probably going to have a 4 gig model in the works. Alright, next up, transistor count and exact die size revealed. Sorry guys, getting a little sick here, but here we go. Tells you GK104, 28 nanometer, 294 millimeter squared for the die size, 3,540 million transistors. Jesus, and TDP is 195 watts and 185. I have no idea what that word means. It looks like it is in German right there. Alright. Alright, again, Kepler news. A dual graphics card should arrive in May, supposedly. Again, take this with a grain of salt. It's all speculation and all this stuff. Supposedly the new Kepler cards are going to be out March 22nd, March 23rd. Price point $549. So yeah, okay, again, this is pretty much the same thing. Here's a final PCB of what it looks like and everything. Let me see if I can blow this image up. So there you go. This is what the PCB looks like for the new Kepler cards. Again, we've seen a couple of pictures in the past that I brought up. I had just like a, more or less, it looked like a little schematic of it, but here's the actual picture right here. Let me see, get some more pictures. See, this is the one we've seen before already, and this one too. So they're more or less compiling all the pictures that people have posted up online, and you'll be able to see them. Alright. Next up, another GTX 680 specifications leaked. Alright, 1536 CUDA cores, as I said before. Basically, it's at a 1 gigahertz clock because it says 1000 gigahertz, or 1000 megahertz, but it's more or less a gigahertz clock. Boost clock is 1058 megahertz, or basically 1.58 gigahertz. And basically, what that boost clock is essentially like the turbo overclock or turbo speed boost that you have on Intel. Like I mentioned earlier in the past week, so basically when it has a demanding game, it'll boost up the speed a little faster, 2 gigs, and again pretty much the same specs I've been reading since the beginning of me knowing about this card. Alright, so let me see if there's any, trying to find any more benchmarks. There's some benchmarks along here, and that's not the one I want. There's one that may take me a while because this is basically translating all this stuff right here. So I'm going to try to find it. Hopefully it'll load pretty fast. If not, I'm not going to be too worried about it. But I guess while that's loading, I'll go ahead and talk about something else. So we'll go ahead and talk about the GK104 block diagram explained, and this whole thing I still don't really understand how a GPU is made and everything, so I really can't explain it. So this will help you guys out, and here's some pictures and everything of how everything works, and how everything is put together and all that good stuff right here. So if you guys want to know more on how basically the Kepler GPU was designed and everything, go ahead and check that out. Alright, next up we have Intel Omit release of the Enthusiast-Class Ivy Bridge E processors. So basically they're not going to release the Enthusiast Ivy Bridge E Enthusiast processors until the second half of 2013. Well, guess what? That's when Haswell comes out. So there's no point in getting Ivy Bridge E if it's coming out next year, because Haswell will be coming out sometime in March. So there's really no reason to do that. And again, arrive in March 2013 for Haswell. So basically rolling into another story. Alright, good thing about EVGA, they're improving their warranty. I think basically products purchased on or after July 1st, 2011 will have a minimum 3-year warranty, and you can register it if you want. And also they're going to have it where you don't need to do registration for RMAs, and also you can transfer the warranty to another party. So say I sell something on EVGA or overclock.net, well, I can say here's the code, or here's whatever, and they'll be covered by the warranty, so I wouldn't have to RMA the product for them and everything like that. Alright, and this is something interesting, sort of cool. Basically this whole thing is 12 USBs, like a power strip. So if you got a lot of USB devices, there you go. Be able to charge up any USB device and more, it looks like. Alright, and here it is, has like thumb drives or all that good stuff. Alright, Thunderbolt. As you guys know, Thunderbolt is the latest and greatest in technology for transferring speeds really, really fast. Check this out. They're going to put Optical, or use Optical for Thunderbolt, which is awesome. It's going to be tried to be around 2013, and it could push bandwidth greater than 10 gigabits per second, or gigabytes. I get confused on that. I do apologize. I'm not perfect. But alright, let's go ahead and check out MSI Next Generation 7970. Basically, if you want a cool card, go ahead and get this. But if you're going to water cool, don't get this card. You have to get a reference card. So pretty much it's saying, oh, we use military grade 3 performance capacitors and all this good stuff. That's pretty much what they're saying, and it's improved design probably. So yeah. Alright, something I find pretty interesting, is this is a 16-inch USB powered monitor, which is pretty cool. You can get it for $99, so that's pretty cool if you're on the go and all that good stuff. You can use it for a laptop screen if your screen's too small, like if you got like a e-notebook or something like that. Next up, Diablo will ship out May 15th, so Diablo 3 will ship out May 15th. Also, it will not have PvP, which I have no idea what it is, so in the link description, which is player versus player, I think. So it won't have that. And then again, we have Origin. As you guys know, you gotta have Battlefield 3 to play Origin. You have to use Origin to play Battlefield 3, getting tongue-tied there. But SEGA is going to join up with Origin, come out with some games and all the good stuff. So again, it's basically more similar to Steam. Basically, Battlefield 3 is the only time or only game that you actually have to open up a web browser to play a game. Other games you don't have to do that. So yeah. Next up, I've been talking about these motherboards for a while now, and this is just reiterating that they're finally releasing or announcing the Intel 7 series motherboards. So go ahead and check these out. In past stories I've talked about them, but now they're finally talking about them, I guess. And the only thing I don't like is this exclusive OC Genie 2 technology. basically you don't want the motherboard to overclock. You want to overclock it yourself manually, due to the fact that if the motherboard does overclock and you don't have proper cooling and you do not know what voltages that is going on in your motherboard, basically you're going to fry your motherboard. So that's why I manually overclock everything I can, like voltage wise and everything like that. Then AMD is going to be coming out with an A3420 socket FM APU. It's going to use, let me go ahead, a PCI Express 2.0 root hub for discrete graphics, and it's rated at 65 watts, and it's going to expect around the $65 price range. So pretty much you can see AMD's not really developing processors anymore. It's more or less APUs, onboard graphics, and all that good stuff. So what else is trying to go around here and look around? It's clocked at 2.8 gigahertz, which is pretty much standard now, and it has Radeon 6410D graphics with 160 stream processors. With its engine clocked at 600 megahertz, the L2 cache is size 512 KB per core. So basically you can see AMD is really basically saying, see ya, we're not going to be producing any CPUs. Alright, first Battlefield 3 Close Quarter trailers release. My opinion is, before you start marketing new downloadable content, you should probably fix the game first before spending millions of dollars or thousands of dollars on promoting a downloadable content. So fix the game first, then promote new downloadable content. That is just me. Alright, next up, I think this is really interesting. It's basically a projection keyboard, and it's made by Alcom. So it looks pretty cool. It uses Bluetooth, so you'll be able to basically, if you have it on your cell phone, you can link Bluetooth on your cell phone and you can type and text like a full keyboard instead of using that real small keyboard on the cell phone itself. It looks pretty cool, and it's slated for April, and it's going to be very expensive, $352 for that little deal. So again, it's cool, but man, it's expensive. Alright. If you didn't know, basically some guys from Infinity Ward was selling Activision, or suing, not selling, but suing Activision, and basically, of course, said no. That's pretty much what it says. You can't do it, and yeah. And then MIT scientists proved mathematically that Mario is hard, and basically what they did, they took all the enemies and all the levels and everything, like enemies, walking enemies, turtles, all that crap, and said it is mathematically hard. So it's pretty interesting read. Go ahead and check it out. Let me see what it exactly said. Basically, researchers mapped out every hazard, every bottomless pit, every flying enemy, every bullet bill as a city, and discovered while there is a mathematical way to solve it more efficiently, it's basically harder if you do it that way. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion. Alright, now the Samsung Galaxy S3, little leaks about it, and a reveal should be around May 22nd. So let me go back to the Kepler details and see if it finally loaded up what I wanted. So let me scroll down, and it's still not downloading. What the heck, man? It's a lot of stuff. So basically, I think they're using a 3930 or something like that. Like, it was overclocked on LN2 to 5 gigahertz or something like that. And it had a performance score of 9,673. And it had a 3960X with turbo boost, and they were using an Asus Rampage 4 Extreme motherboard, SSD 120 gig by Corsair, and basically here it is right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, I'm probably in the way, but the 680 is in the green, it's at 1006 megahertz, and the memory is probably at 6008 megahertz right here. And again, here it is. And the 1006 megahertz is at stock clocks, because I think the stock clock of a 580 is 772, and then the 7970 stock clock is 925 megahertz. So all this is stock clocks, I believe. So there we go. Alright, next up, that's the extreme. Now this is performance right here. Again, 680, and then all the other GPUs right here. So the 680 is kicking butt for the most part, if these are real. Alright, next up, we have Battlefield 3, frames per second, 1920 by 1080, 8 times AA, 72 frames per second is the average. We have 52, or I should say 54.2, and then the 7970 is 70.5, so it's 2 frames faster than the 7970. Okay, then Batman games. Alright, we have 57, 42, and 49 for the 7970. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which is a game. Wow, it's actually a tie. We have 74 for frames per second, and 67 for the GTX 580. Alright, now we have the Heaven benchmark, 46.5 frames per second versus the 7970, 41.5 frames per second. Alright, and then we have 73 frames per second, and then around 59. I'm going to just start rounding it out, but 59 frames per second for Lost Planet 2. Alright, and here are the temperatures right here. Let's see, idle is 33, max load is 83, and then for the 7970, idle is 40, and then max temp is 86. So there you go, all the performance that you would want to know about this card and more. So go ahead and check that out in the link description below. Now this right here is quite funny to me. Don't rely on technology, or this will be common sense. So I guess this will be the WTF segment of PC news you can use. Alright, 3 Japanese tourists in their 20s wanted to get somewhere. They followed the GPS. The GPS told them, oh, if you go across the water 9.3 miles, you'll make it. Well, they drove, was it 0.03 miles and got stuck in the water, so they're out around $1,500 with the rental car, and they were embarrassed when they left it stranded there, so the rental car place itself can get it. And I guess this is just common sense for me. Before I even use a GPS, make sure that you know what you're seeing. Like, if you see water, don't drive in it. Does it make sense to drive in the water? No. But apparently these Japanese tourists didn't know that, and they're blaming the GPS for them getting stuck in water. So I find that pretty funny. But I guess that's it, guys. That's the end of PC news you can use. Sorry for me messing up a little bit and getting a cold. So hopefully I'll get better soon. But as always, comment, subscribe, rate this video, click that like button. You guys have a great day.